Yeah, because I've been telling people the wrong thing. It is the completion of the third year. Third year just got done on YouTube, not started. So technically, we're starting the fourth year. I told everybody the wrong thing. Welcome in, guys. Scott Sagent here, and I am ready to kick off another great year of readings. We are kicking off year 4 with a brand new studio setup. Still under construction, as you can see. It's okay, we'll get that done. I am back to my original sunflower shirt where I recorded my first ever reading for you guys in 2021 on YouTube. Come full circle. I got a table full of cards. You know how we do. Let's go talk about some June.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Sagittarius. For June, Spirit has chosen a storyline spread for you guys. So we're going to find the story in here that is right for you. Multiple stories may resonate with you, but at the end of the day, there is one story that is all about you, and we're going to find it here. Now, this is not just any storyline spread. Spirit has selected a work corner spread. So it's not just a storyline, it is also all about work, which is a huge corner in anybody's life. Work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, the JOB for most people, but also learning new things, hobbies and interests. It all falls into that work corner. So let's get started, guys. Here is my overlay. This is what I'm looking at here on my table full of cards. This is going to be one of the most interesting spreads I've ever done because, as you notice, besides my Oracle Angel cards, none of my tarot cards are upright. There's only one of them, actually, and it's the moon card. It's the position that you don't want. That's the one you want inverted the other way. So, and when I pulled this, I checked it 3 times to make sure it was right. I'm like, what? I've never had to do a reading before that was almost entirely blocked. So let's see why, Saggy. What is going on for work that we can really improve and get you to avoid maybe some bad stuff here in June? So I'm going... On your screen, you can see this. There's one story that's very big, and there's 2 that are not. I'm going to save the one with the moon cycles for last, all the way on the left. So we're going to go into the big one first, actually. I'm just going to rip that Band-Aid right off, guys. So let's get into story 1, which is the career transition. This is for Saggies who are trying to do something completely different with work. It's like you want to change jobs. You want to at least change departments. You want to do something different. If that's not you, hang with me. You're probably in story 2 or 3. But if you are, here's the messaging you need to hear about June. There's a message coming in later in June. This is the second half of June. Not sure exactly when in a general reading, hard to pinpoint, but this is the later part of June, and it's a message coming in regarding family or loved ones. It comes in at not as a work message, but more as like it affects the family. It could be through work, but also affects the family greatly, and that's why they're describing it in this way. So that's the first part of this movement, is that we have that message coming in. The message is going to trigger something that you feel incomplete about. Or maybe this is something that you've been wanting to complete, and you're like, hey, you know what, maybe in June, now that I have this message come through, and the universe is telling me, hey, it's time to get moving with this thing or whatever and get this done, that could very well trigger this idea in this process. So this is something you may not know as we enter the reading here in June, but this reading is for the entire month of June, not just June 1. So bear with it. And you kind of know if this is about you by the very beginning of the career transition. They want you to avoid a bad decision here. That's what this story is really all about. I have my Fool card inverted. This is a bad decision they want you to avoid and not make. Okay, tarot is very good for planning and preparation, and this is something that you can avoid here. Now, I'm not sure what this bad decision is, but if you are very aware, hyper aware of this situation and what you're going through in June, you can probably pick it out. You can see it. Otherwise, Spirit wouldn't be wasting their time throwing it in your reading, right? And then we move into the moon, card itself. And this is not about moon cycles. This is about the mysterious. This is about like not seeing things clearly, not knowing the future, not being able to because there's so much fog in the way. That's what the moon is. He rolls in the fog and the mystery. So it's a little weird energy too. So maybe something weird going in your work corner as well. Maybe something you just don't like or you want to change, something like that. So because of that energy, they talk about how they point the finger back at you a little bit here, Saggy. They say here, some of you have neglected or maybe not really shown your full potential with work. Very easy to do, very easy to get lackadaisical or take a mediocre job mediocrely. I'm not sure if that's a word, but you understand the vibe. And, it's just like if you don't really care about it, you don't really care about it. You're not going to give 100% for something you don't care about. Of course not. So you got to do something you do care about, and then maybe you can do 200%. So that's part of this messaging here too, is really you got to put the energy into work. Whatever you have been doing before, that's what got you here. And now you know how to get out of it. Very good. And the last thing they bring in here is that a decision has not been made yet. So I don't know if that's universal, like the universe, God hasn't made this decision up yet. I think it really goes back to you, though. I think that you have not made up your mind about something yet. And Spirit is saying, hey, if you're not sure you want to take this career path or get into nursing or get into being a hotel manager, if you haven't decided yet, how are we supposed to construct this for you? How are we supposed to make this work behind the scenes to get you there? You got to decide first. And that's really what Spirit is saying here in story 1. So if you're looking for a career transition or a work move, these are the messages to get you there. And I hope that you can do that in June and get to a greater place as you move forward. Because, we don't want to get to in a job that feels like a job. We want to enjoy what we do, at least somewhat, right? Let's get into story 2, Saggy. Good time to remind you too, even though that story was incredibly specific, this is a general reading and we are reading for all of your Saggy friends. If you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you and not everybody else who's under Sagittarius, I have those personal audio products, personal readings, the whole bit, video conferencing from small services all the way up to full service. A little something for everybody. ScottSagent.com, guys. Story 2, Saggy. Story 2, we roll in with really in it to win it. So this is the opposite energy of story 1. Story 1, it's like you want to get out of there, you want to flee. Here in story 2, you're like, yeah, I really like what I'm doing here. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it for the contract. I'm in it for maybe forever. I'm in it to win it. Okay, I like the energy, the way it starts, but here's where it moves to and how you can improve this section too. Sagittarius, they bring in that it's the money that has been neglected, not the work here. So the work is actually coming in just fine. But you got to do better with your finances, okay? Maybe you've been just spending a little loosely, spending a little too much lately. And here in June, it could continue. Maybe you got some big bills. Maybe you got a vacation in June. It's just like, man, I'm going to save here, but June is not the time when I can save. Well, maybe you need to just start planning for it, or maybe you need to cut back a little bit in June, something like that, because my finances are coming in a little bit, needing the energy, and it's a work spread. So you're making your money through your work. That's what most people do. And the next thing they show here is my 8 of Swords. It's inverted. So what they're saying is that there is some freedom happening. It's maybe unlocking a little slowly here with work, maybe getting more, maybe less responsibility or just more creativity or getting more personal control of what you do. It comes in here in story 2, not in a big way, but it is in a light way, and that is part of the block that we're talking about here. Now here's what you do in story 2 in June, guys, if you really want to enjoy your work corner in June. Saggies, even though you really like what you do or you're in it to win it, they talk about outdoors. Going outdoors is a big push for you. It says go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature, relieve stress, and gain new creative ideas. So it's an inspiratory move. It's like you get out into nature and you get these wonderful, great ideas, just brilliant popping in there. Just get out there. That's the best I can tell you. Get out into nature. It's the best way to do it. I know it's summer, it's hot. There's different things you can do. Maybe go to a pool, a beach, get in the water a little bit, do something that is outdoors, but maybe air conditioned. I just went last month. It was a safari. It was in your car. You drove through the safari. You got to see the African animals. It was pretty cool. And you got AC in the car, So that's just one example of, you don't got to let the heat perturb you. Let's get into story 3, guys. Story 3, Saggy, we bring in first my energy of learning things the hard way with work. So this is Spirit telling you, Saggy, if you've had a work setback here, and this may be hard to differentiate story 1 from 3. 2 is very clear, I think, for us. But 3 here, it's like if you've had a setback, not necessarily that you're trying to change your work, but if things just, maybe you didn't get that promotion, maybe you didn't get that raise, maybe you're making less than you want to make, but you still kind of want to stay there. This could very well be your story here. They're saying you have all the lessons. That's the good news. You have all the tools. You are ready to roll with it, but they're saying you're not using it. You're not using the God-given talent you have or the degree you have or whatever they're saying here. They're saying that you've paid your dues. Long story short, you're ready to roll with it. So Spirit is a little confused with why you're not. Okay, so just something to consider. And we're going to get into moon cycles after this anyway, but this is why I saved the story for last, because they talk about moon cycles in this card, or in the oracle card. It says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So that's what we want to do. That's why I give you these moon cycle dates in the bracket of the time on the website, on the calendar. Every single month, I always update that for you guys. And here, with my 4 of Pentacles inverted, they talk about here how it's actually time to keep things in and be a hoarder. It's like not the time to move. So even if things are not going your way, it's Spirit saying here you don't want to necessarily change it. You want to hang on to things, maybe for financial reasons, maybe because you need that bread and butter. You need that day-to-day job first before you start the side business or the side hustle entrepreneurship, something like that. So moon cycles here, I think they're gonna, I'm just kind of looking through the different stories. They don't really necessarily say full moon or new moon. I have actually no new popping up here except for career transition could be new. So I think it's a pretty open floor here for Saggies to use however you want. But they're telling you to hang on to some finances here, keep some things in, keep the job localized energy. And the last thing we have here is, and the reason is because there is some hard times here coming. Okay, so maybe you've had a setback here, but maybe they're not over. Maybe you gotta, keep going. Maybe you think you're, it's like when you go through a rapids in a like a raft or something like that. It's like you hit a few rapids and you're not sure, like if you're out of the briar patch yet. Are you done with the rapids, or are they going to continue? Is there more around the curve? It's like you can't see it yet, so you don't know until you get there. And here Spirit is saying you're just not out of the rapids yet. You just got to mitigate. You got to traverse this course a little bit longer, and that is what maybe why they're saying keep it in financially, keep things a little conservative financially. And I'm not worried about it because you have all the tools. And we also have the power of the moon cycles, and it's a pretty big deal because it says moon cycle in the card. So it's not just something I talk about every month, but they're saying here, Saggy, you can use this to your advantage in a big way, whether you're trying to bring something into your work or get it out of your work. So we're going to get into those moon cycles right now, guys. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there, something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily.
I guess the fortune teller's right.